Hi, I am Gary. In today's video, I want to touch on the theme of the femme fatale. Today we'll talk about an interesting and important topic: how men with low self-esteem fall into the trap of relationships with married women who are looking for an affair. This topic concerns many men who feel lonely and insecure themselves. It seems to them that the fatale beauty who suddenly shows them sign of attention has finally appreciated them. But is this really so? In our video, we'll look at how the psychology of femme fatale works. Why is this relationship doomed from the very beginning and can only harm the man? And how not to fall into this emotional trap? If you're familiar with such situations, this video will help you understand yourselves and take a fresh look at such relationships. So let's get started. Who is this femme fatale? Okay, she is a woman who is already in relationship. She has a husband, a family, and possibly children. But her relationship with her husband leaves much to be desired. To put it mildly, to the point where there are just some very complex disagreements and problems in her family. And the woman also clings to her man. She won't break away from him. It's also a matter of security for this woman. And that's when the story of love triangle arises, when she can't leave her family, but she desperately needs some external stimulation. What kind of a man falls for a femme fatale? He is someone who, well, does not have a high self-esteem. He may consider himself successful in something, maybe in work, in career, in business, but he understands that as a person, as an individual, he is not interesting to many, especially women. It is just a painful issue to endure humiliation from women when you start getting to know them. You look foolish, they reject you, hurt you, and despise you. And the man simply concluded that he is not interesting to women. So he may think like that: I'll just focus on my work and neglect this matter until, let's say, better time comes. But at the same time, he also accumulates the need to be needed, to be important, and to be loved. And he wants sex, but somehow it does not work out for him. This guy has a deep need for a woman, and the woman also has a need for such kind of guy. What connects the man and femme fatale? Let's touch on a story where such a guy met a woman at a sports field near his house. He used to go there, and she was the first to approach him and said something like, "I see you into sports, let's exercise together," or something like that. And they met there at the sports field, and after some time they had their first sex. And he finds out that she is married. This information, it seemed, should have told this guy something important to make him think. But he felt that he was valued as a man for the first time in his life. That is, it turns out that he had such a hope, an illusion, to be more precise, that he is a person who can be loved, who is worthy of attention, who is worthy of respect. And at that very moment, he finds out the information that she has a husband. True, this girl explains that we have a good relationship. We practically live together, we have a completely isolated way of life with my husband, how she tried to represent her relationship with her husband to him. But after some time, this very husband suddenly bursts into their relationship somewhere there and caught them and literally takes her by force. And here they go on meeting secretly like two abandoned children, unloved, who feel deep cosmic loneliness, but together they hold hands, they feel protected themselves together. They kind of found a rescue island. And these two people, it creates the illusion of some real deep love for each other, some kind of independence. At the same time, what happens to the heart? What happens in the woman's heart? But she feels that this is my rescue island. But at the same time, she feels that this is a temporary island where you cannot live permanently. There is a big land that I have to return to. Also, women are not capable of rational thinking. She lives in this illusion because she is simply a lifesaver, necessary. But he is also in the grip of this illusion, and instead of realizing, evaluating the true motive, why this woman is with you, why she wanna meet you so quickly, why she fell in love with you so quickly. Well, it seems like we can guess that she has some issues in her family relationships, and she is simply compensating for the lack of certain feelings for herself in these new relationships. No, he also clings to this illusion, to the ideal of his life, that they finally loved me. These are two neuroses that literally found each other. But the further story ended with the fact that the woman, of course, returned to her husband, because as you know, the children who ran away from home felt freedom, felt kinda euphoria for the first time. But somewhere in the distance, the voices of their parents are heard, like, "Helen, Oliva, it's time to come home for dinner." And the children understand that the game is over, the fairy tale is over, and now it's time to go home, cause there is real life there. But at least we rested a little, dreamed, played. A woman usually in such a situation is more prepared for this, isn't she? Perhaps for her, this is not the first love triangle, and she deep down understood that these were temporary relationships for her. But the guy has a different perception of everything. He finally found the woman who loved and appreciated him for the first time in his life. Finally, he met his destiny. The stars turned to him, and this guy invested his resources in this relationship in order to keep it. He believes that she now belongs to him. He believes wholly that he loves this woman, ready to fight for her, ready to take her away from her husband. But he does not understand that he is not needed by this woman actually. In fact, he is expendable for her in order to satisfy her momentary whim. He is a tool through which she solves her relationship problems for herself. That is, a guy with low self-esteem has a wrong perception of this situation. If you're a guy, first of all, try to pay attention to the feelings, emotions, and fears that are present within you. And isn't it strange to you that this woman during your first meeting admires you and compliments you out of the blue, even though she does not know you well enough? A woman who has not received anything from a man, who has not received the attention and time she deserves. Men with no financial investments, meaning some kind of work and energy from a man, and she immediately starts worshipping you, putting you on a pedestal and idealizing you. This is the situation. You know, like in that story when the fox praised the crow sitting on branch with cheese. The fox's test was to praise the crow and get the cheese. The fox does not need the crow, the fox needs the cheese. That's how this woman praises you, but you are not needed by this woman actually. Her task is to get a relationship from you that will help her to raise her self-esteem, fill the void in her relationship that her husband cannot provide to her. To adequately assess, due to the fact that this is your need, emotional hunger, and it makes you commit such impulsive and inadequate actions. You push yourself deeper into an emotional pit from which it is even harder for you to escape. As a result, your self-esteem drops even lower. In the end, you will be even more disappointed in women, or you will choose the path of eternal love, and you will read mantras and pray for this available woman. But this also happens, by the way. But at the same time, the man has another goal. He also wants to boost his self-esteem. He thinks to himself, I am not ugly, so why am I such a failure? Why am I so unlucky with women? But then he meets a woman who truly appreciates him. He is even willing to see her secretly, despite her bad-mouthing her husband and saying that they've become strangers to each other. I suppose this is the love fate has given me, he tells himself. But what are you guys doing? Man, what are you condemning yourself to? So, when you enter into such relationships, you are deceiving yourselves again. You are once again not following your own path. You are once again giving up on yourself, and as a result, you are accumulating that same unfulfilled need over and over again. The need to be needed, the male need, the need to feel important, the need to feel your status. And that can only be provided by a woman with whom you have honest and full-fledged relationships. But an insecure man accepts inadequate relationships. He is willing to steal this woman from her husband. For such an insecure man, this might be the only chance to establish any kind of relationship with opposite sex. This is the nature of unsuccessful men. They'll be used in any way. A faithful woman will come along and take away their last hopes and faith in this life. What is the nature of male insecurity? What is the core of this problem? Perhaps this guy was raised by a mother alone without a father who could instill male confidence in him. In the modern world, the institution of family and relationships has been intentionally destroyed for decades on end. Normal and complete families with both a father and mother are very rare. Society is highly feminized. Hence the growing number of inadequate and insecure men. Many of them grew up in a single-parent households, raised by their mothers. So this is the male illusion. We guys have such a feeling, such an illusion that finally there comes that mother who will love me and appreciate me. Finally, justice has arrived. Life has been unfair to me, but now it is finally turned towards me, and you are unable to resist it. You are incapable, lacking both the strength and the will. It doesn't even cross your mind that something is wrong here, and that's why you fall into the trap of this fatale woman. So what is the solution for this complicated situation? How do we solve the problem with the fatale woman? First of all, you need to accept fate as it is. Secondly, you need to work on yourself. Develop yourself, work on your self-confidence. Boost your self-esteem and get rid of limiting beliefs. All this topic will be covered in my videos on my channel. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Your comments are welcome under the video. If you have some experience on this topic, don't hesitate to add in comments. So, with best wishes, good luck everyone.